Yo, what is going on, football fans? It's your boy, Big Game James, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive tackle. And this is a little mix of both games, Pewter perspective, and Big Game Sports Buzz here on the BGSE network. Hey, make sure you please like, subscribe, smash that bell so you know every time that I'm dropping brand new content. So the other day, I started my Mount Rushmore. I told y'all I saw these posts on Instagram and on X of people using AI to make the Mount Rushmore figures and going over their favorite players or positions and everything else. So when I started, I had to start with the defensive tackles. Now, dude, the comments have been crazy. They've been good. And I want y'all to keep checking it out. Keep commenting below. A lot of people like, Big Game, man, you left some people off. I know that. It is so hard to try to take all the great players that have come through the NFL and narrow it down to four people. I think I did a pretty good job. For you that didn't see it, you can go back and check it out later. But this is what I put down for my DTs. I had John Randall, Warren Sapp, Bryant Young, and Aaron Donald. Next person that was on my list was Mean Joe Green of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I saw a name that a lot of people told me that I left off, but needless to say, there's a lot of guys out there that I did not put on that list. A lot of guys that I was a big fan of as a kid growing up, and even as uh, getting older in high school and college, and even other guys I admired while I was in the NFL. So, needless to say, I'm not going to be able to get everybody on the list, but I'm going to do my best to tell y'all who I picked, why I picked them. And like I said, I love the conversation in the chat. So y'all make sure y'all please keep it going. So to kick this thing off, defensive ends. That's right. We're coming off the edge with power, finesse, and greatness. I'm giving flowers to the great game wreckers who made life miserable for quarterbacks. Here's my Mount Rushmore of defensive ends, the elite edge legends. So, first and foremost, the name of this guy says it all, the Minister of Defense. That's right, y'all. Reggie White. He played for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. He even played in the UFL. I believe it was for the Memphis Showboats. So Reggie White did all these great things in the NFL, and he actually got his career started late because of playing in the USFL at first for the money. He's arguably the most defensive end to ever play the game, if you ask a lot of different people and experts. 198 career sacks. He's second all time. An incredible mix of power, technique, and faith-driven leadership. His favorite pass rush move that I love was the hunt move. Start up field, boom, come back club inside. He put guys on his tiptoes. And my second ever NFL game, being on the sideline, being able to witness Reggie White in Green Bay, I was like an ultimate fanboy just watching him play. He's a Super Bowl champion, 13-time Pro Bowler, 8-time first team All Pro. Like I said, his hunt move is still feared by many and often taught by coaches in clinics. So Reggie White, God rest his soul. Like I said, when he passed away, it crushed me big time. But just being able to meet Reggie White, have a conversation with him was amazing. And let me tell you, if there was jersey swapping back then, you best believe Big Game would have tried to get Reggie White's jersey because he was one of my all-time favorites and still is to this day. I hate that his life ended so soon. Number two for me, this guy played with a reckless abandon that I just loved watching him play. I love his underdog story of what transpired for him coming out of high school, then his college journey to see what he was able to do in the NFL was simply amazing. And that is JJ Watt. Yep. A lot of people may not agree with me, but just look at that picture, man, with the helmet up and the blood on his nose. Every time he stepped onto the field, he gave it his all, and some of the things he did. This guy was 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Peak JJ Watt was pure chaos. He batted passes, he stripped sacks, he even had picks and touchdowns. 114 and a half career sacks, 5-time All-Pro. He was the heart of the Houston Texans defense. his high motor, high impact, and a future first ballot Hall of Famer. I guarantee it. Off the field, even more legendary with his community work. JJ Watt is just simply a straight pillar of what you should probably be on and off the field. He laid it all out on the line. JJ Watt is my number 2 in big games Mount Rushmore. Number 3, I actually wore this guy's number my JV year in high school. I actually had a chance to play with him for a little while as well, later in his career, but still pretty damn good at getting after quarterback. And that is Buffalo Bills and Washington at the time, Redskins star Bruce Smith. Man, Bruce Smith was a guy that was all over it, 100 miles and running as well. He's all-time sack leader, 200 career sacks, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 11-time Pro Bowler. He led the Bills to 4 straight Super Bowl appearances. They never got a Super Bowl win, but 4 appearances. Consistency, longevity, and pure pass rushing greatness. When you put on Bruce Smith's film, it leaves us almost jaw-dropping to watch what he was able to do. Still the standard when it comes to production. Very, very productive player out of Virginia Tech, those times in Buffalo. And I asked Bruce, hey, man, how y'all used to be able to go out there with them with no sleeves on in Buffalo? He said Vaseline was a secret. So no Diddy, but Vaseline. Bruce Smith is my number 3. This next guy, my number 4 coming in. Man, it's funny because I talked to some of my students about him, and they was all, you mean the dude from TV? I said, no, go back, check the tape. This guy is just not a game show host or a morning show talk host. He was one of the best pass rushers to ever do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Trademark Gap in his Tooth, Michael Strahan. Single season record of 22 and a half sacks in 2001, leader of the Giants Super Bowl upset over the undefeated Patriots, 141 and a half career sacks, 7-time Pro Bowler, dominant and dependable. And now he is a media powerhouse. He took advantage of his stardom in New York and turned it into a second career. Like I said, so much so that a lot of guys, young guys, don't even realize who he was on the football field. And Michael Strahan got after it. To me, class act, a pro. Just a big fan of Strahan and how he did things, and a big fan of how he entertains us now. Coming out of the HBCU, Texas Southern University, Strahan is that guy and did a really good job. Strahan, keep it up on TV. Got to have your boy on one day, or you just need to come on the podcast. Help me promote this thing. All right, man. Anyway, that's my 4. Mount Rushmore is 4, but I'm calling the audible, and I am going with honorable mention. That's right. I ain't supposed to do this. My boy Jay Stoggs hates when I do this on the show when we do our top 5, but this guy here was a teammate of mine. Big fan of his, watching him play, seeing him develop into the player he became, the longevity of his career. And that is Mr. Dwight Freeney out of Syracuse. I tell a lot of people that, when coaches tell them they're undersized, I said, man, take that with a grain of salt. Don't believe me. Look at Dwight Freeney. Now, when I say undersized, Dwight Freeney just wasn't prototype defensive ends height, but his production, what he could do, amazing. Dwight Freeney had a long career with a lot of different teams, most notably the Indianapolis Colts. That's where I played with him. The Chargers. And like I said, he's my honorable mention. His signature spin move is one of the nastiest ever. And he used to come around with that hand and bring out ice pick and hit guys either in the back of the neck, the low back, but he always threw that arm. He set it up well. Man, 125 and a half career sacks, a 7-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, quick twitch, relentless effort, and a nightmare in passing downs. And then think about it. They later on paired him with Robert Mathis. That shit was unfair in Indianapolis. Sorry, I didn't need to use the S word, but it was unfair. D Free, my dog, was off the chain. He had the perfect blend of speed and finesse off the edge. So I had to give Dwight Freeney an honorable mention. and he dons a yellow jacket. So yes, somebody say pick your hand. You giving him an honorable mention? Trust me, I played with some other guys that deserve maybe a mention in this Mount Rushmore, and they'll probably make my top 10 defensive end list. But for my Mount Rushmore, man, I had to go with these guys here because, like I said, watching them play, seeing how they impacted the game, some of them how they impacted me as a player, as a person, and helping me become better is another reason that I picked these guys, man. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's like I said, it's so tough to try to be able to break this down and put it just into 4 people. So, like I said, my 4 though: Strahan, Watt, Bruce Smith, and the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, with Dwight Freeney as my honorable mention. Dude, like, I love football. And I love watching guys get after the passer. So these 5 guys didn't just rush the passer. They shaped the game, whether it was brute force, speed, surgical technique. They each brought something special. That's my defensive end, Mount Rushmore. And please let me know in the comments below, who's your defensive end, Mount Rushmore? Again, for Big Game Sports Entertainment Network, former Buccaneers defensive tackle James Canada, Games Pewter Perspective, Big Game Sports Buzz. Make sure y'all check out all the shows, like, subscribe, smash that bell so you know every time that we're dropping brand new content. Let me know down below who is in your defensive end, Mount Rushmore.